Beyonce, I was at a party at Diddy crib in LA. This was the beginning of 2020. You know what I mean? Diddy had put everybody else out the crib, like the influx of people he had put them out.
She was hating on the Queen Beyonce. So I told her.
Hating on Beyonce.
It kind of was hate.
No, it was not directed at all as hate.
When the Bow Down record came out,
yeah, I love Beyonce.
And you was like, first it was all let's have camaraderie as women. Now it's
to that I met. Seen Beyonce a few times. She's always a very sweet girl. Mm-hmm. To me, that just wasn't her, you know what I mean? Her thing. But I don't know, dude said, she switched it up or something.
If somebody says, I love you, but I hate you, that's not.
According to Keisha Cole, Beyonce's father, Matthew was out here helping Beyonce have freak-offs with business executives to advance her career. It seems that this is how she met Jay-Z when she was only 18 and he was approaching 30. She is now embroiled in his issue with Diddy, and their marriage was a business strategy gone too far. As it turns out, Beyonce believed that Jay would advance her career in a different way than Matthew did. But boy, was Jay-Z any better. Rumor has it that he had more than a B on drugs. Additionally, he carried on Matthew's tradition of providing services to major business executives, including Diddy. Although Keisha has always had feelings for B, these accusations she is making are the most serious. And honey, the streets are talking. When Beyonce dropped her diss song Bow Down in 2013, Keisha first called her out.
Bow down B over and over from the woman who preaches empowering women is a bit unsettling to some.
I just feel like it's kind of, it's hard to swallow. Just very hard to swallow, having seen her in a different light.
I don't like it. I don't think it's her. I don't think it goes to what she represents.
I love Beyonce, but I honestly think that Jay-Z's putting thoughts in her head.
You're on a Pepsi can, for goodness sakes, to tell B words to bow down. And then you're saying girls run the world.
Everyone, but especially the R&B girls, were pressed by this song since Beyonce was essentially asking them to stop trying to keep up with her and just bow down because she is their queen. Additionally, some individuals conjectured that the song was a direct jab at Rihanna. In a matter of minutes, Rihanna threw the shade back at B, so it is safe to assume that she had the same thinking. Even Beyonce-owned fans called her out for being hypocritical, which was startling because, as anyone who knows the Beehive knows, people are wild about B, so it was crazy that they did this. After preaching about girls taking over the world, they accused her of using derogatory language and demanding that the girls bend down. Additionally, Beyonce became combative and refused to apologize, rather than simply taking her back and acknowledging that she was wrong for coming after Rihanna. She claimed that one day when she entered the studio, a voice in her head told her to humble the females, so she simply entered the booth and carried out the instruction. Despite her claims that she did not mean to offend, she continues to sing that song frequently without apology. She obviously does not care, even in her Beychella performance, and that is what truly got Keisha pushed and still does.
The reason I put out Bow Down is because I woke up, I went into the studio, I had a chant in my head. It was aggressive, it was angry. It wasn't the Beyonce that wakes up every morning. It was the Beyonce that was angry. It was the Beyonce that felt the need to defend herself. And if this song never comes out, okay, I said it. And I listened to it after I finished, and I said, this is hot. I'm gonna put it out. I'm not gonna sell it. I'm gonna just put it out. People like it, great. They don't, they don't. And I won't do it every day because that's not who I am. But I feel strong. And anyone that says, oh, that is disrespectful, just imagine a person that hates you. Imagine a person that doesn't believe in you. And look in the mirror and say, bow down, bitch. And I guarantee you feel gangster. So listen to that song from that point of view. Again, if you didn't like it before.
Both Rihanna and Keisha were even more incensed by this explanation, and they resorted to other social media platforms to attack her. Rihanna sprang into Instagram and shared a piece praising her the Queen of Pop in the UK and captioned it, "I only know how to be number one, I could use a challenge. How'd I feel down there on your knees, huh?" Rihanna was really irritable during this time, as anyone familiar with a genuine Navy understands. Therefore, it was easy for many to deduce that she was making fun of Beyonce in this article. When Keisha Cole and Brandy also blasted in support of Rihanna, the situation became even more chaotic. Beyonce's resentment. Keisha was even even more open in her criticism than Rihanna during her furious tirade on Twitter. I said, she said, first, women need to stick together. Now be better, bow. Shaking my head, but it's all G chicks stay shooting the ish. I done kept it real from the start. Hashtag respect that. Can't stand when people are self-righteous when it's convenient and it makes them look good. Laughing my A off, but can still talk I when convenient, too. F out of here. Brandy did not attend the game, but she did have a few things to say.
I know that you are a Beyonce fan.
I am.
You're a Beyonce fan, and she recently put out her new song, Bow Down. People are...
Opinion is opinion. I think art should be expressed the way it should.
Do you love the song?
I don't love the song, but I love Beyonce. I have to be honest, you know.
You would assume that Keisha would not be pressed now that so many years had passed. However, rumors have it that she is. Additionally, she recently began circulating stories behind the scenes that Jay-Z was one of the numerous individuals Matthew pimped out and that Matthew was serving B2 industry executives prior to their meeting. Jay was not much better though, as I mentioned before, as he was supposedly also helping her out. Babies claim that he had a private meeting with Beyonce and Jay at Diddy's residence seemed to corroborate this.
Honestly, I was at a party at Diddy crib in LA. This was the beginning of 2020. You know what I mean? Diddy had put everybody else out the crib, like the influx of people he had put them out. But he had took a liking to me in particular around the time, man. It was really, you know what I mean, and his arm around me. Right. So he had put majority of the people out, but he allowed me to stay in there. Me and, you know, maybe about 15 others, you know, right. Jay-Z and Beyonce being, you know, two of the other 15 people in the room. So that'll just put into perspective of the type of company I was in at the moment, you know. And she came over and introduced herself to me like as if she had to. Right. Beyonce, cut it out. But I'm a big fan of your work, you know what I'm saying? Whoop the whoop, and that was just dope. That was dope as hell to me, man. That was dope.
As you may recall, Jay was accused of keeping Beyonce addicted to drugs like nose candy in order to control and manipulate her. Uncle Ron, Beyonce's former bodyguard, claimed to have witnessed Jay giving her heavy drugs to keep her in check.
But I say, man, yeah, Beyonce's on books. She's been on them for a long time. And you keep her that way.
To make matters worse, there have also been reports that Jay lured Beyonce into a relationship with him when she was only 18 and he was approaching 30. When Keisha stated that B was serving Jay in order to advance her career, she was referring to this. Her career took off after she met Jay, and she started to receive more industry backing than Kelly and Michelle. Beyonce never really had a social life as a child, I find you. She had only one relationship in high school and had been committed to her work since she was a youngster. This is thought to be the reason Beyonce remained with Jay after he cheated on her. Since she was 18, he has been the only male she has known. He is the focus of her entire profession, and she has formed a whole family with him. Without him around, she has no idea what it is like to be a woman on her own.
How? I feel like she never got to experience life with the different types of people, and the fact that he was so old, low-key, I feel like the only way she expresses herself is through her music. And I don't know them, obviously, but I'm just saying, just like by seeing the age gap and what happens between that age gap, she never got to live.
The details of Beyonce's purported $500 million escape plot were recently revealed by a blind item just when we thought things couldn't get much worse. According to the source, B wants to live a tranquil life and quit performing music, but because she is their biggest revenue generator, they force her to perform against her will. According to the source, industry insiders have been whispering about this for a while. If you're wondering why her bodyguard chased after her at that big award show recently, it's because singer has threatened to flee the country multiple times. She's done with the control, the pressure, and the handlers who make every decision for her. They're afraid she'll leave without notice, and they're right to be. Singer suffers from depression and has thoughts. Her team sees her as a danger to herself, but what they're really afraid of is losing their cash cow. They've kept her under control for years, but they won't be able to much longer. She's on the verge of rebelling. She's fed up with her mother's control. She's tired of her husband's influence. The streets have been talking about Jay taking advantage of B, but it is unclear whence Keisha got the idea that Jay was doing this, or even if Keisha actually said it. Since nothing is proven, we will simply have to wait and see, but others are certain she knows more than she is revealing. People had their own opinions as usual, such as this one who stated, "I am so sick of hearing about Beyonce, as if she single-handedly created music for women. I would pick Keisha Cole's voice over Beyonce anytime. Keisha can really sing. Give credit where credit is due, people." Another person said, "I didn't even know Keisha Cole was beefing with Beyonce, let alone that she's blackballed. I just thought her music wasn't popping like it used to be, so she retired. Also, I always thought her name was Keisha. I had no idea it's Keisha. Now though, I would like to hear your opinions. How do you feel about Keisha being accused of being blackballed by Beyonce for exposing her? And do you guys think that Keisha's outrageous claims that Jay was serving B are true?